think we all know what I just said. And then, of course, certain rules have to apply. So 9 for me and 3 for her.
No, I said 6. You know that.
Yeah, it was only an enjoyment level of 6.
There are parts that I thought were really enjoyable, and there's other parts I went, wow, I wouldn't have written it that way.
I'm fucking staggered. Anyway, all right, that's fine. I can't argue anymore. Right.
Your magic movie moment, Paul. Come on, keep going. You can do it.
Jesus, you've floored me, Pip. Okay, this
Do you know what is really interesting?
What?
You agree with my mum.
Well, she's smarter than you.
Well, we know that.
That's why she never agrees with you.
She has a master's degree.
And you know what? And you know what? I fucking drive trucks.
My mum is very smart.
I'm sure she is, and we both came to the same conclusion.
Well, there you go.
And, you know, I think it's only because I suspect that she's had a broader life experience than you have.
I'm sure she has.
And I think that feeds a lot into this.
We could go down.
Lollipop, 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 ooh, lolly, lolly, lolly. Lollipop.
We could go down a totally different rabbit hole there as well for Pip's past histories, but we're not going to go there.
Okay, so after that slight break, back to the...
Paul's magic movie moment.
Thank you. You saw my brain just get bogged down in the morass that is my head.
I reckon we could have sat here for a little while, actually.
Okay, so this is... I want you to cast your mind back to 1984, not the movie, the actual year.
When I was 0.
Is that the year you were born?
No, I was born in late 83.
Oh, okay. So you weren't... Oh, yes. So you were there, but you were just filling diapers at that stage of the game.
Yep.
Yep. Doing what all babies do best, fitter and turner.
Anyway.
You know what a fitter and turner is?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay, so 1984, it is the Academy Awards, and we have not an acceptance speech this time, but just somebody who is geeing up the crowd. And this person is from Australia, and I just thought that just after Crocodile Dundee, they dragged out Paul Hogan and was silly enough to put him in front of a whole crowd and television cameras. So here we go.
G'day viewers. This is my first time at the Academy Awards. I usually watch it on television, and for that reason I've been asked to come out here and speak to my peers on behalf of the television audience. G'day peers. This is, of course, the big event of show business, and the atmosphere here is pure electricity. But as a television show, it does tend to go slightly off the boil, particularly as we drift into the third and fourth hour. What can we do about it? Firstly, winners, when you make your speech, it's a good tip to remember the 3 Gs. Be gracious, be grateful, get off. Secondly, don't be too humble tonight, because we have up here a second envelope. Don't get up on the stage and say, I don't deserve this award. If you really feel you don't deserve an Academy Award, just give us a wave from your seat. Most importantly tonight, for most categories, nominees will be on camera when they announce the winner. Please, nominees, let's not have the spectacle of all 4 non-winners giving us this one. This is the I'm so glad he won instead of me smile. Think of the television audience. Give us a bit of variety. You know, maybe 1 or 2 you could burst into tears. Storming out of the building in a huff would be nice. Well, what's wrong with a bit of good old-fashioned booing? No, I'm nominated tonight. and I realise I'm not exactly the odds-on favourite. But I travelled 13,000 miles to be here for this. You come from the other side of the planet. And if they read out someone else's name instead of mine, it's not going to be pretty. Anyway, listen. Most important, the producer of this program, Sam Goldman, said to me, everyone's really tense out there. Go out and see if you can get them to relax. Why? You didn't come here to relax. You want to relax, stay at home and watch it on television. That'll relax you. No. Fellow workers, brothers, workmates, you're here to sweat. This program is live. There's about 1,000 million people watching you. So you remember, one wrong word, one foolish gesture, your whole career could go down in flames. Hold that thought and have a nice night, you hear?
Have you noticed that all the Aussie speeches are very
Matter of fact, yeah. And there's always that dark tinge underneath. People don't realise that we're dark people, but we
Not all of us are.
Well, 90% of the population of Australia when we first got here were routinely whipped. So, you know, yes.
We have that under our humour.
Yeah, there is that.
Oh, it's funny. I like that.
Okay, I thought you'd like that. I thought it'd tickle the funny bone. Now, okay, so that is that. We've had our little Australiana moment there, and now we have the new movie, which is what?
The second film, The Hateful Eight.
Got room for one more? They call him the Hangman. When the handbill says dead or alive, the rest of us just shoot you in the back, come up on top of a perch somewhere and bring you in dead over a saddle. But when John Ruth, the Hangman, catches you, you hang.
Get in, boys! This here is Daisy Domergue. She's wanted dead or alive for murder. When that sun comes out, I'm taking this woman to hang. Is there anybody here committed to stopping me from doing that?
Well, well, well. Looks like Minnie's haberdashery is about to get cozy for the next few days.
Yes, it does.
One of them fellas is not what he says he is.
Move a little strange, you're gonna get a bullet. Not a warning, not a question. A bullet.
Now we're talking.
Alrighty. Okay, so that's that. I tried something a little. Yes, I tried. Please, people, if you like that, rather than
Me talking. I think that was much better because Kurt Russell and Tim Roth and Samuel L. Jackson are pros. They're
I wouldn't
pros.
cast aspersions at them like that. I'm sure they have an
pros.
honest trade.
I don't understand what you're saying.
You live a very sheltered life.
They're professionals. They're speaking and they're pros.
Ladies
at
and
doing
gentlemen,
that.
this is why I enjoy doing this show so much.
Okay. whatever's happening in your head, only you're experiencing it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, perhaps I am. Ladies and gentlemen.
Paul, did you like the film that you put up?
Oh, well, it's me, isn't it? Look, okay, let's get down to tin tacks here. The Hateful Eight was not very well received by a lot of people. A lot of people just discarded it and went, no, it's too long, it's too slow, and there's only one action scene and it all hits sort of thing, it all goes pear-shaped right at the end. Though I don't hear anybody complain about that particular action scene. Now we've once discussed before how Quentin Tarantino does love to be the master of suspense. And I think this is a bit of a experiment for him to see if he can do an entire movie building to the one. How long
he can do it, yeah.
Yes. And clearly he can do it for a very long time. But it's very difficult to put it all together in one, and keep the pacing going. So I think he's rather cleverly made this. You don't think of this as an action film. This is not an action film. This, I'm going to take this thing and shoot it.
Give it a bullet.
What do you think this movie is?
A thriller.
No, it's not.
Your thing's trying to talk to you. It feels like a thriller. You're sitting there going, oh, what's going to happen? It's suspenseful and, yeah. I actually thought the pacing was fine for me. I didn't think any of it was slow. It was intriguing.
It's an Agatha Christie show. That's what it is.
Well, that's what I mean. You don't know what's happening.
Yes, it's a murder on the Orient, or it's a murder on the top of the...
They're showing you the final half of the film first.
Yes, and if you think of it in those terms, the pacing's fine because all of those shows are as dull as eggs.
Agatha Christie?
Yes.
I didn't...
You look at that, people go, oh, Orient Express, it's wonderful. It's not. It's okay.
It's all right.
It drags along.
It was a bit slow.
And then it has its little kind of, haha, I told you, that's your little Easter egg at the end. You know what I mean? It opens up and you see whether you were right or you were wrong or not.
Yeah, I personally found the book did that a bit better, but it was the pacing wasn't great in that film. But I actually found this film of Tarantino's I thought it paced fine.
Yeah, well, so did I. But a lot of people don't.
And it had lots of the things that he puts in his films, like a head exploding, etc., which would keep people happy.
Yep. Yeah, but the head exploding was... Yeah, but it all happened at once. Do you know what I mean?
It wasn't given to you in nice, healthy spots.
Yes, whereas Tarantino, you look at, say, for example, Inglourious Bastards, which everybody loved. And
there was a death scene at the very start.
Very, very start. Gratuitous violence at the start, a little bit... into the middle, and it just builds and explodes, builds, explodes, builds and explodes. And this is what he's done. Right, I'll do the whole thing and then it'll explode at the end. And it's very hard. You can't call it an action film. And I think a lot of people went there and they're going, oh, the Hurtful Eight, it's cowboys, Samuel L. Jackson, it's going to be marvellous, But they couldn't do it.
Do
you know what I mean?
It's nearly a 3-hour film.
Yes.
But I actually found that... Well, I know a lot of people complain because there wasn't death straight away and then death.
Yes.
But I found it was suspenseful throughout the whole thing. He kept you because you're waiting for it.
Master of suspense. Yes. Take note, Alfred Hitchcock. No, well, he's been served. I'm sure he was the best of his time. And, the old what's the old saying? That we stand on the shoulders of giants.
Oh, yeah.
In that... What I mean by that is that we can achieve more because we have got somebody who was great before us.
You've gone off learning what they've done.
And that's why it's difficult to have a standout from early cinema because Casablanca and, North by Northwest, well, they were the giants of their time. Cary Grant was the best of his time. Did you like that?
Yeah, I did.
I said something nice about Cary Grant. I know the man in Spain or the woman in Spain is having a chuckle at that.
I kind of love the fact also that Tarantino keeps bringing out these people that he obviously loves working with, like Samuel L. Jackson and Tim Roth and Michael Madsen and everyone, and just chucks them in. Because
it feels a bit like a family, doesn't it?
It does. You're just like, oh, I know these people.
Yes, it's the same old crew.
But you know what? It doesn't get old.
No, they jostle them around. And you know what I also suspect? Now, you remember Buster Scruggs?
Yes.
The last scene in that?
Yes.
I feel that that scene was inspired by this entire movie.